Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live again. Yes, 2 weeks in a row. So we're on a roll here. Getting back into the saddle. Uh, just want to say hey to everybody. Let me just go ahead and jump right on in. I've got lots of stuff to show you right here, but let me go ahead and I just want to greet everybody as much as I can to start the day. Brat's mom, good morning to you. Thanks for being our first one to chime in the chat today. She says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, Becky, and my dear Yarnies from overcast and not smelly South Chicago suburbs. Please, friends, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Thank you so much, Brat's mom. And she says prayers for all of you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I know our community certainly appreciates that. And I just wanted to comment on something to be thankful for. Yes, we do. We can see the sky now. We can see the sun. Last Friday, that was not the case because of all the Canada smoke coming down our way on the eastern seaboard. So that has cleared. We've gotten lots and lots of rain. In fact, last Saturday, early morning, we had some really interesting, really harsh thunderstorms kind of pop up, come to our area. And we heard lightning really, really close to us. And when were having our breakfast, my husband went to get coffee somewhere with my daughter, and they noticed that one of our roads near our house was closed off. And turns out a house actually caught fire from a lightning strike that we were hearing at that time. And the family all got out. They're fine, which is a blessing. But the house, which is a beautiful, beautiful piece of property on this house is really nice. It's a total loss. So just something else. Just I'm just thankful that we did not experience the same thing. Um, and I have been in a house before. You maybe those of you who've been following me remember the story when I was staying with Mrs. Barker down in South Carolina, and we actually did have lightning hit our house, and it took a big section of the chimney, just blew it up, threw bricks everywhere. Um, all throughout the yard. So I mean, that was quite an experience, but it didn't catch fire. So that was again a blessing in disguise. Anyway, we did have to get that chimney fixed, but it was not the same as replacing an entire house like this family's going to have to do. So anyway, just an interesting story to tie into that. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to share that with you, but I just remember that lightning was really uncomfortable last Saturday morning in the early morning. Anyway, Angie, good morning. Glad to have you all here. Arsa said good afternoon, but if it's from morning where you guys are, that's great. And Marie Prophet, good afternoon. She says, Bonnie and friends, have a blessed week. Thank you so much, Marie. I hope you are doing well. And Miss Wanda says, good morning, Miss Bonnie and everyone. Praying all here are doing well. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, and Donna says, peace, my sister in Christ Jesus. How are things? I pray you and your family are well. Thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know, I've probably mentioned this too much, but yeah, we recently lost my mother-in-law, who was very near and dear to all of us, really. And so we are doing well. It comes in waves. You know how that goes. There's sometimes we can talk about it unaffected, and then we'll see something, and then game over. So we're taking our time, but we're working through it. We're very, very thankful for you all, for your prayers. I know who've been that has really been sustaining us throughout. So thank you. This is so much more than a crochet community. I just thank you for that. Um, I was actually this morning walking through with my daughter and her two little precious ones, Hobby Lobby, and Hannah actually met us there later. Our new Hobby Lobby that we have in our community, first one in a long time. And I know some people are not thrilled about the store, and I don't totally understand that. I know the reasons, but don't totally understand it. It's a beautiful store. And where was I going with this? It was just such a joy to walk through there and pick up some things and Golly, I just lost my train of thought. I just had a total train wreck in my brain. Do you ever do that? But anyway, where was I headed with that? I'm so sorry. Totally lost the train of thought. This is probably just the beginning, I'm sure. Um, but it was a real joy, just to be there with my daughter and my grandkids and just be able to look around at all the pretty things. Yarn, by the way, all their yarn is 30% off right now, which I was really thrilled. No one's paying me to say that, but I was able to get my the things that I wanted to get there this morning, and I found a couple other things. I found some hats pretty inexpensively there that I'm looking to put some of my jeans decorations kind of things. And if you have ideas, what should I put on here? Crochet related. I was going to use maybe some of the sparkly things, and I do have some pearls I could use as well. But if you have any thoughts on what I should put on these, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear about that. But anyway, I was actually there. Okay, maybe this is what's tied into. I was actually there to get some gift cards that I give as part of the awards that I give at our local county fair. So along with a certificate, I give them a gift card with a significant number on it. I won't say how much, but I just want to make it make the gift valuable. And that's the best way I can do that, is to give the recipients money in the form of a gift card to go shopping. Um, and just really enjoyed being able to do that now. All right, so let me get back to seeing who is in the chat. Okay, Barbara, thank you so much for posting that. I've learned about this earlier this morning. Barbara says, Bonnie, please pray for my 7-year-old nephew, Philip. An object fell on him and crushed his pelvis. He is having a CAT scan to see what else. Thank you for posting that, Barbara. I have already added that to my personal prayer list. Those of you who pray in the chat, would you please add Philip to your list? I would really appreciate that. And I also wanted to mention that we've had many prayer requests, which is wonderful over the past, I want to say six years or more, especially since COVID. I kind of started this with COVID because we were losing members a lot. And that was hard. And you guys remember the long COVID, not the long COVID, but the COVID talks that we would have because we were all shut in. And I think we would have a lot of people on, and we would go for a couple hours just because there was nothing else to do. We couldn't do anything. And it was just a highlight of my week. I was living away from home in South Carolina in the house that got struck by lightning and all. With Mrs. Barker, we just always had to have we wanted to always have someone there with her, keep helping her, getting her groceries, taking her to doctors, whatever she needed. So where was I heading with that? Yeah, so if you could please, if you've asked for prayer, that's fine. If you could just update us when you can. I know there's privacy issues and you don't have to get too detailed or personal, but if you could just let us know, um, how many of these have been answered. I know I hear occasionally from folks, but if you could just let us know, update us to just to remind us that prayer is effectual and it does mean something. We're not just praying to the air. It's to a living Almighty God. And I just let us know if you can. Again, within the privacy and all that, or if you just want to contact me personally, I would love, just to hear how things are going. And if even if it's not a glowy positive report, sometimes we pray for something, and the answer that we get is not a yes. I would like to know that too. Um, so I know how to better pray for you. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. Um, yeah. And for those of you who are new, yes, this is a crochet channel. There's just a lot going on. And we're humans and we're not one trick ponies. We are whole people. And I have something very special I'm going to read, particularly for the ladies in the chat at the end. So if you want to stay to the end, close to the 1 o'clock hour, I have something very special. You may have heard it already, but near and dear to my heart, and I just have a few little nuances to add to that before I read it to you. Just impressions that I think I needed to share with this community. Anyway, Hannah, thank you so much for being in the living room. Hi, Hannah. You can come say hey if you want, or you can stay quiet. Okay, that's fine. Come. You have to come around. You have to come around. Come around. Come around. Come around. This is Becky. This is my oldest daughter. Say hey. Say hi, Becky.
Hi. Hannah says hi.
Thank you. You doing
And
all
so
right?
do the kids.
Yeah, we want to show you the kids so much, but because of AI, online safety, AI, and all this other stuff, we're trying to be careful. But that little baby that burped during a live about a couple or some time ago, he's getting big and he's talking in full sentences now. So anyhow, but anyway, thank you, Hannah, for being there, and thank you, Wanda, for praying for Barbie's um, nephew there. And Teresa says, "Good morning, everyone, from a sunny and warm Utah. It's Pioneer Day here. Fantastic, Teresa. I have to tell you, I ordered my tickets. I don't know if I'll be able to do a meetup, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a little thing about the Yarny Social. I mentioned this last week. There is information in the video description, I believe, about this. It's in Boise, Idaho, October 22nd through the 24th. I will be there with bells on. There is a yarn market that goes, it says from 8 o'clock to 5. I don't know if that's the hours of the yarn market. It could be, but you can buy a ticket to participate in everything. That would include the classes that I'll be teaching. I'll be teaching 2 classes there: crochet cables for the faint of heart, also broomstick lace. We're going to have fun with that one. And I'm also doing a fun decorate your denim demo. And if you want to bring something to decorate, you can do that too. And I thought, even if you don't want to do a full on jacket, you can get a hat at Hobby Lobby or your favorite, I just say that because I just picked these up from Hobby Lobby. And this was like $6, $7. So it's not a huge investment. Or you can get them from Michael's, just wherever. And you can just decorate a hat, if you don't want to do a full on jacket. Of course, if you want to get into doilies and the actual crochet stuff, you'll need something a little bit bigger than that. But anyway, just a thought. But back to the Yarny Social. This is going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn in Boise Spectrum. That's the name of the hotel. And yeah, check it out at theyarnysocial.com where you can buy your ticket. As far as the activities tickets for all the things together, I think there are only like 10 left, or maybe less now. But you can still attend. I believe if you wanted to just stop in and go to the yarn market, you can do that. So check online for all of that information if you're in the Boise, Idaho area. And the reason that I mentioned that, like, well, why did I mention that when Utah pops up in here? Well, because we can't fly directly to Boise, Idaho. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually fly into Salt Lake City, Utah. I've never been to Utah. So we're going to fly in there and we're going to just make it a vacation for my husband, me, and Hannah. My girl needs a break from all her years of serving and all in South Carolina. So we're bringing Hannah along with us. So if you're in Boise, that would be fantastic. Come stop in. So anyway, just wanted to mention that about the Yarny Social, and to let where is it? To let Teresa know about that. I don't know how far you are from Boise though, but I'm looking forward to seeing your home state. Oh, thank you, Hannah, for encouraging Barbara as well, and everybody else here in the group. And Cynthia, everything just jumped. Everything is loading, loading, loading. Uh, ugh, I am so far behind already. And Cynthia says, "Hello, everyone. So happy that you are back, Bonnie. Today is my birthday, and I'm so thankful to be here. I just love this group." Well, Cynthia, happy birthday! That is fantastic. I hope your day is just wonderful, and you get lots and lots of yarn. um, and thank you for praying, Teresa, for our friend Barbara there, for her nephew. Um, Cynthia Dalton is oh, Hannah is wishing Cynthia happy birthday. And Wanda, thank you all. You're so great. Everybody's saying hey to Hannah. And Bridget, welcome from the UK. I hope you're doing well. Hope it's sunshiny where you are. I know that's probably unlikely, but I don't know. Maybe the summer, it's pretty good. I heard you guys are having really hot weather there last week. So hopefully that's kind of broken and cooled down a bit for you. And Denise, glad to have you here. And yeah, you have two Denises, Denise JF and Denise Westman. Well, welcome, welcome. And Phil says, "Hi everyone, loading in Fargo, North Dakota right now, later than normal due to circumstances out of my control." Whew. Well, Phil, I hope you're doing well. Stay safe, my friend. I still haven't been through the Dakotas yet. I still need to check those off. We need to get into I don't know, a comfortable car or truck with a tent and just kind of take off across country and check all the boxes on all the states that we haven't seen yet at some point before the arthritis gets worse. So I can still camp anyway. And Kathleen says, "Good morning and happy Friday, everyone." We're glad to have you here, Kathleen. Um, and let's see. Jesus Joy 77805 says, "Good day, Bonnie, Hannah, and community. I pray everyone's doing well." Thank you for that. And Wanda's wishing Phil some safe travels. How sweet. Um, yeah. And let's see, Grammy Rita. Hey, Grammy Rita, thank you for joining the Zoom live this past week. We had a good time. It's always a nice group. It's usually a small group, but for those of you who are interested in more crochet, you just can't get enough. I do have another channel called the Watch channel, which will oftentimes have the regular designs that are released here, but with one caveat. You get the written pattern complimentary, which is quite a perk. The price of the Watch channel is $7.95 a month, $7.95 a month, 79.50 I believe for the whole year, which is a savings if you're interested in that. It's just a way to help me do what I do a little more, on a consistent income. Plus, you can download many, many patterns. Not all the patterns, because the ones that I don't own copyrights to, I cannot give those away. But that is far and few in between these days. Most everything I do is owned by me. I don't give away the copyright or sell the copyright any longer. So lots and lots of things on there, and it also includes when I'm available. I'll just put that there because this summer has been a little rough with all the family drama. I'll just say, but usually I'll once a month either a class, or we just, if not a class, we just kind of do a Zoom hangout and we catch up with others. We talk about things. I get to show them things that I'm doing kind of behind the scenes or things to come, which I did this past Tuesday. So thank you all for those who came to that. Thank you for joining. And again, if you're interested in that, there's a link in a video description. And if you find that after a month that you don't like it, and if you just go from month to month, you can just discontinue it just like that. It's not one of those things where you get roped into and you just can't get out of it unless you're Sherlock Holmes trying to figure it out online. It's not like that at all. And if you just want to get out of it and you don't know how to figure it out, you just email me, bonniebarker@me.com. All that information is also in the video description. And I'll just take you off and you're free. So just wanted to let you know that. But there are a lot of fun things on there. There are also classes that I've recorded, and some behind the scenes videos as well. All right, and we do have some beautiful children noises in the background, so thanks for thanks for overlooking some of that. I know some of you enjoyed that last week, so enjoy. We have more for you this week as well. Um, let's see who else we have. Oh, we have Phil says heading to Ontario, Canada once I am loaded. Oh my goodness. You're crossing major borders here, friend. I hope that goes well for you. Um, and welcome Kathleen and see Janice from West Virginia. Phil wants to know, is anyone else's screens flickering? Ugh, I hope that's not everybody's, Phil. So far it looks good from my point of view. Last week I did see some glitchy stuff, but so far so good here. Um, Cynthia says, when I was a baby, lightning hit our house on the wall where my crib had been before my mother pulled it away. I am lucky to be here. Wow, isn't that amazing? The stories that we have for things like that. And, that I'm glad that your mother moved it away from the wall, Cynthia. Wow. Um, yeah, I lived in South Florida where uh, thunderstorms were almost a daily occurrence. And those of you who live in South Florida, you know, if you don't like the weather, wait a few minutes, it will change. I know they say that about other places, but you could definitely say that about South Florida. And I remember we had lots and lots of lightning storms. And some of you may find this interesting. As part of being a child in the public school system, there was a lot of emphasis on how to protect yourself against lightning. So when you're like in first grade, I mean, from really kindergarten on, you're instructed on what to do if you're ever in an open field, because Florida, where I lived, is, well, Florida in general is flat. It's just a big land reclamation project, or at least South Florida is. They just basically took um, sand and then piled it up high enough, and then we called it, land. And then that's where I grew up. Kind of built on sand, huh? But anyway, we we were instructed over and over and over again about what to do and how to stay safe, and you never run under trees and all of that. I know you all probably know all of that, but in Florida, we grew up and everybody was just emphatic about it, but we'd still hear about people running under a tree for shelter from the rain and then die from a lightning strike on the tree. So whew, it can be really scary. But Cynthia, so glad that you're okay. I am so glad that the family, just a half a mile or so away from me, is okay. Everybody got out. Um, yeah, so glad, and so glad that we didn't have to deal with that again. And Jet One In, it's good to have you. I hope you are doing well. Says hello, Bonnie. So nice to see you today. We're so glad to have you here. I hope things are working out for you. And Denise, she says, I'm so sorry for your loss. My deepest sympathy for you and your family. Thank you so much, Denise. You all have been great. I just can't say enough about this crochet community. Um, I heard so much more from you all than even people that I know. So it's just a real plus. Thank you for that, Hannah. Um, got it. And we have Kim with us. Great to have you here. Um, thank you, Hannah, for helping Phil. Just saying, talking about refreshing the page. Yeah. Um, Jet One and says, "Oh yes, my brain does that too with just having a train wreck." And okay, it looks like I was having a little glitchiness here for a second there, Phil. So it may not be totally your imagination. It might be it's something going on. Yeah. All right. And Beth, great to have you, Beth. I don't know if are you going to be traveling with Terry? I'm just curious for the Pittsburgh thing, but I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing you guys there. And let me go ahead and mention that since that's on my list too. Stitchburg Fiber Festival is going to be out of this world this year in Mars, Pennsylvania. So that's going to be outside of the city of Pittsburgh. And let me see, 8 August. It's coming up. It's within the month. So August 21st through the 23rd. That's this year at Doubletree Hilton, Pittsburgh Cranberry. So if you're going to make a hotel reservation, that's where you want to be. The Doubletree by Hilton, Pittsburgh Cranberry. It's outside of Pennsylvania, so you don't have to worry about, parking, street parking in city and all that. And just park in the parking lot. It's a newer hotel from the past Pittsburgh creative festivals. And I'm looking forward to that. There are going to be a lot of fun activities. Stacy is going to be there with the the Sax organization that she has, the soap Sax. Couldn't think of it for a second. The classes I'll be teaching will be on Friday: multiple ways to crochet ribbing and intro to reading crochet patterns and stitch diagrams. Two different classes. The classes, I think, are only going to be 2 hours long this time. So that's going to give you more time to actually sign up for more classes and other different things if you're interested in that. And also give you more time to spend in the yarn market. If you're, going there to shop, the the vendor list is long, and the space for the vendors has sold out. There's actually a waiting list. If you're a vendor and you want to vend, sell your beautiful yarns and crafts things there at the festival, there is a waiting list. So there are going to be a lot of fun things to see. August 22nd, that's the Saturday, I'll be teaching beginning knitting for crocheters. This is one of my favorite classes to teach. I'm sorry, Celtic Weave and Beyond, where we take the whole 2 hours and we're just focusing on one stitch, and we're going to focus on it in a few different ways. So you're going to get it when you leave. I know that's a tough stitch to learn, but once you get it, you've got it. I'm also teaching crocheting the Saxon cable. So definitely check those out if you can. These in-person classes are the most affordable that I'm aware of in the business. And the classes are no different than what you'll pay 2 to 3 times for at other locations. And I think primarily it's this way because the people running this really want people to come. They really want to make this accessible to as many people as possible. Also, it's just not a real expensive area, so it's a great place to go. You're gonna get a lot of really good deals there. The yarn market is always fabulous and just really, really nice. It's all indoors. It's in air conditioning, so you're not gonna be walking around in hot tents and dealing with the weather like you might at, Maryland Sheep and Wool. Maryland Sheep and Wool is also a wonderful festival, but I'm just saying, by comparison, it's not at a fairgrounds, it's indoors. You're gonna be comfortable. You can get something to eat if you want to. I think there are gonna be some food trucks possibly there. There are also gonna be some outdoor, buses that are self-contained stores as well. There's always some of those there as well. So, fun place. Um, check it out online. The seating is limited in these classes, and once they fill, they fill. So definitely check those out. All right. Let's see who else we have in the chat. So thank you for reminding me of that, Beth. I'm just seeing your name up there reminded me of that. Jet One In's trying to help fill out, maybe restart your device. Yeah, it might be a combination of the live broadcast too. We may have, I think we have clouds moving in, but I don't know. It's not as sunny as it was outside, so that could have something to do with it. I don't know. Well, Helen, great to have you here from Scranton. Yeah. And Phil looks like he fixed it. Good. We have Manila Shirley in our chat from Western PA. Lovely Bonnie, sweet Hannah, and your wonderful people in chat. Yay. Well, I hope you can join us in Pittsburgh. Hopefully it's not too far from you. No pressure. And if you don't want to take classes, no problemo. No problem at all. But if you're in the Pittsburgh area and are near there within, an hour's drive or so, I think it's like $5 entrance fee, which is very nominal. to get into the marketplace for the day. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. It's not like some places that charge 20. I mean, it's really nice, and it does help the organizers to to keep meet their needs and their finances through this as well. All right, Hannah is sending me some messages here from Jet One and says, "Please send prayers for my mom. Her surgery was delayed by insurance, but she so needs it. Pray her surgery goes well and can happen soon." Okay, we certainly will, Jet One, and we'll add that to the list. And those of you who pray, please do the same if you can. Um, okay, thank you, Hannah. Yeah, Hannah. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Uh, so she was saying that if you hear the wheels on the bus play in the background, just overlook that. Okay, some of the top 10, right, of a 3-year-old. Okay. Where are we? Where are we here? Let's see, what else do I have to tell you today? Oh, let me go ahead and show you my goodies. All right. Now, first of all, before I do that, let me just mention that anybody looking for like a craft bag like this is actually not a craft bag. This is a crocheted backpack. You can pull the handles and the handles wear comfortably over your shoulders as a backpack. And you can pack a lot of stuff in this. And what I love about it is this is 100% machine washable. I do have these little beads on there. I put this in a bag, in a laundry, kind of like a lingerie bag, and then let it air dry. But I do have a playlist in my video description for this, the cable backpack, and in a couple others as well that you might be interested in. There's also a bag on that list for storing those plastic bags that some of you may still get at the grocery store. I really liked those. I know some people go, they're so evil and all that. And it's like, well, they had handles and I could carry my things and we could reuse them as trash bags at home and we use them for many other things. But anyway, we used to collect a lot of these. We'd get a lot of them and then I'd put them in a bag, in a crocheted, kind of elongated crochet bag. And then you put them into the top and close it off. And then you pull them out one at a time at the bottom when you need one in the house, And so I do have one of those on the playlist. That's in the playlist. That's in the video description, just so if you're looking for, kind of summary things like that to crochet. All right, so let me show you what I did. This was last Friday after the live. I took my children, my 2 girls and my 2 grandchildren out to a really nice let me look at the name of it in case some of you want the name of this place, because it is really, really good. I highly recommend it. Okay, let's go back there. Okay, it's called Chicken Polka. It's a Korean style chicken, and I'll just put this up there. All right, this is not a paid endorsement. This is just a personal recommendation. It's a very small mom and pop store or restaurant, I should say. It's not super fancy, but the hospitality is wonderful. The food was amazing. So they have this very special Korean style of making their chicken. They have kind of like, I guess, regular, but then they also have, spicier, spicy sweet, and different ways they treat it. But the regular chicken, it was all white meat and it was fried, but I have never had anything like this. It was the best I've ever had. And they did not dry out the white meat. It was nice and juicy. And I usually prefer the dark meat on chicken just because it has more flavor. I know it has more fat, but it has more flavor. But the white meat, the way they prepared it was amazing. They had these rice, they call them rice cakes, but they didn't look like anything that I could imagine as a rice cake. And and other kinds of Korean cuisine. If you're kind of an adventurous eater and you want to try something really good, really healthy, I think the soup was also very, very good. So we had a really nice time. And then afterwards, we went to the new Goodwill store. This is in Germantown around Wisteria Drive, for those of you who know the area. And I hit the mother load as far as yarn goes. And this is still in the original wrapper. Okay. And I'll show that to you. So this is a whole pack of 100%. This is DK weight, 100% baby alpaca. So each of these is 110 yards. So that would be 880 yards. And I paid $6.99 for this. Okay. It's in excellent condition. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I couldn't just let it sit there. I also found this. This is called Racing Silks Mixed Marinade Set. This is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So the total yardage is 800 yards. And I paid a whopping $4.99 for that. And again, this hasn't even been opened. And it looks to be in really excellent shape. I also found a hank of Plymouth yarn called Happy Feet. This is a sock weight yarn, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, and a beautiful purple color. This was 99 cents. And this is, let's see, 384 yards. And then I saw these two, which look like they had been paired together or not, but either way, I could certainly put them together for something beautiful, for maybe a scarf or a shawl of some sort. This is called Cocoa Beach, 80% merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards. Of course, hand dyed by Old South Fiber from Greenville, South Carolina. I paid 99 cents for this. This is what, 800, no, 400 yards? Let me see. Yeah, 400 yards, sock weight. And this is, you're going to recognize this brand if you've ever shopped for this at Malabrigo, which is a very nice brand. Sock weight, 440 yards. Did they say what the sock? Okay, made in Peru. Okay, this is usually again the merino wool nylon blend, but again 99 cents for. I mean, I'll give them $1 all day long for Malabrigo, and this is see Roadhouse. This is mohair and silk. This was also 99 cents, and this was. Let me take the sticker off so we put the sticker right on top of the information. Okay, this is lace weight. So a little bit thinner. So what you can do with the lace weight is combine it, with another yarn. Okay, 72% Super Kid mohair, 28% mulberry silk, and 459 yards. Very generous yardage for the 99 cents that I gave for it. So yeah, and I will say one thing about this, because you can easily pick up all kinds of things at thrift stores, but you do need to be careful. This all did not have any kind of an odor to it, and you need to. And that's not the only sure way to check. But sometimes people will get yarn even from yarn stores. Sometimes you just want to be careful because you can get, um, like if you put this, let's say automatically with your other yarn without checking it, you can easily get an infestation of moths or moth larvae. You just have to be really careful. You can look at it. Smells will give it away. If you're winding the yarn and it breaks a lot, that's a clue that there's something inside. So you have to be careful. One thing some people sometimes will do is put it in their deep freezer and just leave it there for a week. I don't think I'm going to have to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a separate storage box. I'm not going to mix it in with my other yarns just to be careful, but I'm I'm like 99% sure that this is all fine. But there have been other yarns that I have seen where I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. And some people have even given me yarn, from somebody that, somebody may have passed in their family and they found a bunch of wool. And then I remember one time there were actually holes in the bag that were given to me. And then I looked inside and you could just tell if the fibers have been broken and they're if there's any doubt, throw it out. I know that sounds horrible for people, to throw out yarn, but you do not want something brought into your home that's going to like destroy everything else that you have in your stash. That's natural, fibers. So you definitely don't want to mess with that. It's not worth tying things together to make use of yarn that's been infested. Trust me, just throw it out, or dispose of it in the best way that you can think of. Anyhow, um, okay, so from Ellen's Crochet says, "Hi Bonnie, I'm making the Heirloom American Flag Throw. Question: Did you wash before placing the stars on?" Um, I okay, yes and no. I did not like wash them with soap, but I dipped them all into water. They became. I soaked them thoroughly, squished them out just like I did. I think I showed you that in the video, squished out the water and then blocked all of them on the blocking mats until they fully dried. And then, of course, before I blocked them, I hid all the loose strands. And then once they were blocked into shape, then I attached them to the flag, to the blue field. But the blue field, when I attached them, I still had the blue field on the blocking board so that it would be perfectly rectangular when I did all of that. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I know a lot of people like to wash things. I'm just not a fan of that, but do whatever, you feel like you need to do. All right. So what else do I need to tell you guys? Oh yes, this is available. The wattle stitch washcloth, or you can make this into a trivet, put your pots and pans on that. You can fold it in half, use it as a hot pad to get things out of the oven. I do this all the time because it protects my hands better than the real hot pads that I've been given, made of other materials. And if you don't want to make a whole dishcloth, you can make little um, things for under your cups, coasters. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, and I'm just use the regular old cotton that comes on a bolt. You get it at Walmart, um, probably Michael's. I don't think I saw that at Hobby Lobby, but I wasn't looking for it today. So, and if you're looking for something else for the summertime, I actually used not Hobby Lobby, Paint Box, DK weight. They also have some, I think, DK weight at Hobby Lobby. This particular dishcloth is also on the channel, and both of these are completely reversible. Okay, this is the drifting weave dishcloth, and again, these totally reversible. Okay, and also, what's nice about these is if you're looking for, small gifts for the holidays, you can, and if you're on like a lot of us, on a budget and you want to be careful, one of these is, anywhere from what, $10 to $15, depending on where you get it. I think I saw this for around $12.99, I want to say, but depending on where you live, the price is going to vary. But even if it's as high as $15, you can get about 10 to 11 of these round dishcloths out of this. And if you're looking for other designs, I do have another playlist on my homepage on the YouTube channel where I have a whole bunch of other, beginning dishcloths. There's a round beginning dishcloth, which is just doing single crochet in the round with increases, per the instructions on the video. Um, I think I got 11 of those out of one of these spools. And I remember giving them as gifts many different times. And people enjoy them because it's not just something that you can say, oh, thank you, and I never use it again, but something they can put in their kitchen drawer and put right into action. So check that out when you get a chance. All right, so let's get back to the chat. And Anna Marie, thank you for your kind comment there. Um, and and Carol, good to see you. And thank you again for your prayers. And Carol and the corn dogs, thank you so much for being here and your kind words there. Um, and Manila Shirley, yeah, so glad to have you guys here. So glad. Um, and we got you on. We're going to put you on the prayer list. Jet one in for your mom. I hope they can get her in very soon. And Denise says, I adore decorating with stars, especially with our 250th anniversary crocheted butterflies. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I need to figure out. You know what? I'm glad you said that because I have a lot of crocheted stars just like that. I might just put a couple, put some of those all over the hat, and then put a bunch of blingy things on it. That's a fun idea. And Denise, thank you for praying for Barbara's nephew. Manila Shirley says, I almost lost my battle with COVID. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I came home on an oxygen machine and have been on that 24/7, and my taste buds still aren't right. I do lots of prayer. Wow, I had no idea. That is so hard. I know my husband's been battling. He got COVID, I don't know, this past year, and he's still dealing with effects from the long COVID. So, for those of you who know what that is, if you could think of him, I appreciate your prayers. I mean, he's still going to work and everything, but it's not as bad as what you're dealing with, Shirley. But yeah, that was a mean bug or whatever it was created or whatever. I won't get into all that, but yeah, it did have its effect and it was terrible. Red Hook, glad to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing better. I think your foot or something was injured. I hope you're doing better. Thank you, Jesus, Story 7, for praying for Barbara. Yeah. Yeah, nothing is impossible for God. Yep. And thanks for praying for Jet One in, Denise. I appreciate that. Everybody's saying hey to Becky. I'm slow, guys. You know that I'm slow in this chat. And Red Hook says, I just started using my walker. Yay. Well, I hope that gets better. I will continue to think and pray for you, my dear. And let's see. I'm going to skip some of the Hayes. And Janice, great to have you. She says, I love this group as you all pray for one another. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are complete people. We're not just crocheters. We're complete people. We have needs, don't we? And you guys are so great. Just like I said, ever since COVID, this has just been the thing to do. All right, I'm getting through this. And thanks for checking on Phil, Jesus Story 7. That's great. And Becky says, pardon the probable noises of small children. Actually, that's what we call, Stephen Curtis Chapman wrote a beautiful song called Signs of Life. So we have lots of signs of life in our house. It's not It's not a museum out there. We have life being lived to the fullest. Okay. And Jet One says, hoo, it's getting, or yoo-hoo, it's getting closer to the Yarny Social. Free shopping day is Saturday from 1 to 5. Tickets to come to the event as an attendee are on the website. Thank you, Jet One N. Appreciate that. Yay. Um, thanks for, I'm looking forward to meeting you. That was going to be fun if you get to come. Uh, yeah, Manila Shirley says, yeah, my grandmother lost a bunch of friends from COVID. Yeah, Mrs. Barker lost a bunch of friends then too. I remember I was there getting the notifications. Even the man who did, the wonderful, wonderful man who did her funeral. His name is Rocky at the First Baptist Church in Conway there. He did a fantastic job. He was also a longtime friend. And during COVID, he and his wife were both in the hospital, and he lost his wife back then. So yeah, a lot of suffering from that time. I'm glad we're past it. It has left scars, that's for sure. Probably in all of us, just from the social distancing, and things have never really gotten back into full on, in person stuff. I don't think since, but maybe that'll change as we go along. Thanks, Becky. um, Hi, Rex. Just wanted to say hey. My nephew is. Anyway, just wanted to say hey to somebody there. And Teresa says Boise is about a 5-hour drive from where I live in Utah. Anyway, so yeah, well, I hope you can make that. I know that's a lot of driving though, but we're going to be driving a lot when we get there because we want to see the whole land there. We want to see a lot of things in that area. Jet One says public access is only Saturday 1 to 5 unless you are ticketed. Otherwise, the event runs from 8 to 5 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Got it. So yeah, so 1 to 5 is the free market. So if you guys want to get a chance to get there, please do that. Thanks for filling me in on that. Manila Shirley says, hey, Becky, May, that's my middle name too. Yeah, the name May. That's actually after my. Do you remember last week? If you didn't, you can check on the channel last week's video. I showed you a lot of things that grandmother boss, whose name was May, whom Becky is named after. That's the person who made all those beautiful thread crocheted items. And Jet One says, I still keep forgetting about the watch channel Zooms. I love the watch channel. Well, thank you for supporting me there. That means so much. She's waving at Becky. And M Mig 12 says, good morning, Bonnie. Many blessings. Love your t-shirt. Oh, thank you. It's one of my older ones. I want to have that up on my t-shirt in my t-shirt store, but they took it down years ago for some reason. So let's keep it going here. Oh, I don't think this one is on the channel, but there are some other ones that I actually like better that are there. Like the one I'll tell you what my favorite shirt is. I haven't worn it in a while because I only have it in long sleeve and it has been too hot for that. It's the one that says the key to happiness, and then it has a listing of all the abbreviations for crochet terms and what they mean. It's a little pun, I know. And there's also another one that says got crochet in English, and then it has it in about 8 or 9 other languages below it. So that was just to emphasize. It's just kind of fun. But that shirt was also at the time when I was able to start putting closed captions in many different languages on the lives. And there was a person from France last week who was asking about the translations, and I can respond now, because what I did is I did put the translations on the live, but it has to be after the video has rendered, so it takes a couple of hours after the broadcast, and then I'm able to add as many languages, I guess, as I want. And when I have a list of about 15 different languages that I do add the closed captions. And so if you're watching, you can go back. I know you're probably not understanding it if you're watching it from another country, but you can look at the closed captions and you can add them possibly in the language that you need. All right. But anyway, the got crochet with all the different languages was just to kind of emphasize, just um, our videos now are going to a lot of different countries and people of a lot of different cultures, which is really, really kind of cool because there I'd have to live a bunch of lifetimes just to get English correctly 100%, but to learn multiple languages, I could never do that. And that's I think the one thing that I don't even know if that's AI. I don't know if it is or not, but that's the one thing that I think is just very beneficial. Um, if that is what AI does. I'm pretty sure that is an AI thing, AI based. But anyway, it's nice that we can do that. It's just too bad that AI has to steal original art and ideas, though. But anyway, as far as language goes, I think it's a good use of it. All right. Mandela Shirley says, just like McDonald's, I'm loving it. Hannah and Becky, my middle name is from one of my aunts. Very cool. And Janice is wishing happy birthday to Cynthia. Thank you for doing that. You guys are great. And Lynn, great to have you. And Beth says, Terry and I will be going to Pittsburgh. Yay! We're already lined up our cat sitter. Oh, that would be fun if you could bring the cat, but you might not make everybody happy if they're allergic, but I'm glad you could find a sitter. Because hey, if you don't, I was talking to my kids about that because we were talking about plans and stuff, and um, I don't know if many of you knew this, but well, if you're looking for a place to put your animal, sometimes you can leave them at a veterinarian's because the veterinarians sometimes have space for boarding. I used to work for a vet down in South Florida about a million years ago. um, and we used to do that. And it was a very safe, convenient way, I think, to keep your pets homed while you're away. Anyway, um, and Manila Shirley says, I would love to go to that, but unfortunately, you don't have a way to get there. Sounds amazing, though. Hmm. Oh, that's too bad. I know it's an investment. I know the hotel's not cheap. I know that it is an investment. I will say that up front. I understand there were many times when, uh, many years where I didn't have the time or the money or the ability as well, raising children and whatnot. But I will say, even though yes, it does cost money, it you can't get around that. But it's an investment in you. It's like a mental health retreat for many of us. And if you can do it, don't feel guilty about it. Enjoy every minute. Take your bathing suit, enjoy the pool, what all the amenities at the hotel in your off time. You can sit out in the lobby and meet new friends. You don't even. I went to my very first conference alone by myself. Stayed at a relative's house an hour away from the event, and I had the time of my life. And just sitting in the lobby, meeting other people who were sitting there crocheting or knitting or whatever. And it was, yeah, I was hooked from that point on, pun intended. But yeah, it isn't. And then after that, I decided I am going to stay at the hotel no matter what because it's worth the cost for me personally. So, so yeah, check it out. You don't have to stay for the whole event. Even just one day and maybe an overnight, and enjoy. Drive around Pittsburgh. Take a look at a beautiful town. And another thing, if you are in the area and you just want to see something else of interest, Falling Waters is not far. It's outside of Pittsburgh. So if you wanted to see the Frank Lloyd Wright home, you can tour it. And we did that this past fall, and it was outstanding. It was almost a spiritual experience for me. Just the way the house was designed. I mean, just the design aspect just blew me away. It was wonderful. If you do the Frank Lloyd Wright idea, if you decide to do a tour, let me know. I might join you. after the event if I can. Also, if you do that, you need to make sure you get your tickets in advance because they sell out really quickly online and weekends are very busy. But if that's something you and your girlfriends want to do while you're in the area, yeah, go for it. Um, Phil says, I used to deliver in Cranberry years ago. It's a decent area. That is so good to know, Phil. Thank you. Denise says, as a Florida girl, pink flamingos with a beach ball on your hat. That's a cool idea. I'll have to think about that. I like that. Jet One says, "Oh, fun! Sounds like a great event. I'm trying to figure out if I can make it this year. I hope you can." Um, and Phil says, "Speaking of vendors, Premier Yarns just came out with a new 100% cotton four weight or worsted weight. Ordered myself 40 skeins. Whoa! Um, I have to check that out, Phil. I have not seen that. Like I said, I just for the first time use this. I love this cotton knit from Hobby Lobby, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Actually, I did not realize this was sitting here. I did not mean for this to be here, but this is a new design that'll be coming out at some point in the fall. It's actually a wraparound sweater. You can see the arms and everything. I'm not going to try to put it on because uh, there are better ways to do that, better ways to display it than on me. But you can use this as a wrap, and you can not make the sleeves and just make it into a wrap. But I added sleeves to make it. You wrap it around you and put your arms in the end. So this is made out of this Hobby Lobby. I think I used 9 of these, 8 or 9 of these of the cotton, and it's worsted weight, so it has the cotton has some weight to it, but I just really enjoyed working with this. I'm going to put this down here as well. I need to pay more attention next time I go live. Let me see. All right, we are at 1 o'clock, so let me just see if there's anybody else that I need to say hey to. Oh, Ellen's Crochet says, uh, okay, I answered that question. But Ellen's, thank you for asking such a great question today. And Archer Nace says a store here in Cleveland, Ollie's, is selling discounted yarn from Joann's. Yes, very very good. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Pittsburgh. This will be so much fun. Yeah, I now check regularly at Ollie's to see what they have. The last time I went, the yarn colors were not that great. But I've been there before, and I've made 2 of the designs on my channel this year, and one last year was yarn that I picked up incredibly cheap from Ollie's, but it was yarn. It was sought after yarn, like the really thick yarns. And yeah, yeah, I definitely, if you've got an Ollie's in your area, um, definitely, I just find out where the yarn is in the store, and I just go there and check, and I'm like, okay, I like it. No, I don't like it, and I just go in and out. But yeah, that's a great tip, Archer and Ace. And Ellen's Crochet says, wow, thank you. And Crochet Done My Way says to Phil, stay safe out there. I retired this year after 25 years on the road. Wow. Well, thank you for serving us so well, Crochet Done My Way. Is this Wanda? If so, so glad to have you here. Um, so the name of the yellow yarn, okay. I guess you meant this. This is it's kind of hard to read the label. I love this cotton. This is a Hobby Lobby yarn. This is a worsted weight, and I don't know how much this is. Okay, normally it's $4.49, but today it is 30% off. And let me give you the exact to the penny. 4.49 times 0.7. It's $3.14 for this because Hobby Lobby is having 30% off their entire yarn inventory. They have a lot of their beads and stuff like 40% off today too. It's very tempting to walk down those aisles. But Wanda, welcome back if that's you. And if you're not Wanda, I'm sorry. But we have a wonderful friend, Wanda, who also just kept us supplied during the pandemic and beyond with their tractor trailer. Yeah, and Jet went in looking at my take from Goodwill, says you got some awesome yarn. Very cool. Yes. Definitely check it out. Check out the stores. Again, be careful. Just be careful, but yeah, check it out. And Phil, back to Crochet Done My Way. Wow, thank you for your 25 years of service. Absolutely. Yep. And Hannah's thanking Crochet Done My Way as well. Thank you, Wanda. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. Um, and Jet One says, "Where'd you find these again?" This was my Goodwill, local Goodwill store. Yeah. Um, Denise says, "I love finding yarn and hooks like that." And Phil says, "I'm not a big wool yarn fan, but I do like baby alpaca." Oh yeah, I I'm I like them all, but baby alpaca, I have a special place in my heart and budget for if I have to. Is there a pattern yet for the yellow wrap? Not yet. It's all being processed. It's been recorded. It has to go through the writing process and the editing process. And I just thought, yeah, Crochet Done My Way is Wanda. Of course, yes, I guessed right. At least that part of my brain is still working, Wanda. Yes, thank you. All right, and Jet One says, "Oh wow, Hannah, that's amazing. I haven't seen anything like that at ours." Yeah, this is the first time. Just to let you know, this isn't normal to find, stuff like this at Goodwill. This is my first time finding it. Hannah has found stuff, but Hannah is the thrift store queen, and well, my daughter Becky is too. But Hannah has found me some amazing yarn finds. I've got some yarn over here. I'm looking at it, again, specially packaged in its own little bag that she found. She's found mohair and baby alpaca for me before at places like that. All right. Um, okay, Teresa says, if you're staying in Salt Lake City when you fly in, I can recommend a few places to see and eat. Please do. If you can email that to me, Teresa, bodybae@me.com. I would really, really appreciate it. And Helen says, my neighbor was looking for a shawl with sleeves. The sweater with sleeves may be the ticket. Yep, I need to get my act together. I've been busy, busy, busy. Actually designing another thing um, as well. So, yeah. And Carol says, so glad you can travel to Boise, Hannah. Such a hard worker. Prayers for your next steps and hopes to travel. Thank you, Carol. That's kind of you to say that. And Phil says, Falling Waters is on my bucket list. Someday I will get there. Southeast of Pittsburgh, near the Maryland state line. Yeah, it's worth the visit. It might cost you $40 or more. I don't know to see the tour, but the tour is lengthy and you get to walk. You can't sit in the chairs, but you walk into the rooms because Frank Lloyd Wright mm, designed this to be lived in. And so the curators of the house, who it's kind of like a museum now, but they have a lot of original things in there, and they want you to not just, you're not just looking into a room with a little chain keeping you. They said, no, walk into the room, look out the windows, feel the cross breeze coming in that's natural from the waterfall. And I mean, it's just, it's to me, it's magical. I mean, it is a house built in the 1950s, so you have to keep that in mind. But it was a wonderful tour. I want to go back. I want to go back. um, yeah, we were there. Most of the leaves had fallen off the trees, so it was kind of getting in towards winter. But I would love to see it in the fall. I would love to go there in the fall to see all the leaves changing and everything. Um, Denise says that sounds amazing. Frank Lloyd Wright would be amazing. Yes, it would. It is. Um, yeah, and I don't have a name yet. Jet one in for the wrap. It's still in process. Like I said, it was hanging there, and I just didn't prepare well enough to come on live. I should have taken it down, but yes. Manila says, "Cut. That's a wrap." Yes, yes, it is. Um, Jetwina says you're going to have a great time here in Boise, Hannah. Your face will probably hurt by the end from smiling and laughing so much. I am so looking forward to that, Jetwina, and so looking forward to. And she says, "Oh, my hubby would love to see Frank Lloyd Wright home. Thank you for the idea." Well, you probably have one closer to you, though. I know that he has them all over the country, and I know there's a couple, I think, in Arizona, and I think in Southern California, which is probably closer to you all. But I remember reading about falling water in high school. I mean, this is, just in all the art books. It was in my art book in college and everything. So anyhow, well, it is getting late. Let me see. Yeah, if you do end up going and you want to go, let me know. If you all want to do that, you let me know. I will. That would be a really fun thing. I'm going to look into that. Hannah, remind me of that, because Hannah has not been to that. So I'll look in to see what the tour times are, to see if it's, if we can do it after the conference, like maybe Sunday afternoon. Because I don't like to work on Sunday. I don't work on Sundays, but at the conference. But I like to stay the night to get a good night's rest before, doing the trip home. So I could easily add that to the end of that. So I'll talk to Hannah about that and see what we can do. Well, I do want it to end. I know it's a little bit late, but was having a talk with, my daughter, and I saw something that kind of spurred me to be thinking about this more. But I wanted to read to you. So if you're a guy in the chat, if you could just, be patient as I read this. But I think it's good for guys and girls, for us all to hear this. But I'm specifically going to be reading from Proverbs 31, which can be a little intimidating if you've never read it. But the way I interpret this is over a lifetime. This is not a one day listing of everything that happens in a day, but it's about the woman who fears the Lord. Um, and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and read through it. And as I do, what I want you to look for here is what a beautiful picture this is, and how there is mutual respect between the husband and the wife. It's not a battle of the sexes. It's a mutual respect. um, and the woman that is in the Proverbs is not the 1950s magazine version, of. And I'm not putting this image down per se, but I think it's incomplete. The 1950s version of the beautiful woman in high heels and her dress, cooking and cleaning and never leaving the home. Just clean the house and just cook, and that's what you do. Um, and those are important things. Don't get me wrong, but we are so much more than that. And I think the Holy Scriptures say as much too. We are so much more than that. And whenever I know people find out that I'm a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife, over the years, I think that 1950s, again, one trick pony, to use that term again, is what pops into their head. Know nothing. You're just a servant or a slave. And these verses just blow that concept completely up, just gets rid of it, and it paints a beautiful picture. So I'm just going to read this. Hopefully it will encourage you. And again, look at this over a lifetime. Hmm. An excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. Listen to this. She seeks wool and flax, and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it, and with the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. Okay, she's doing land deals here, in case you missed that. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She's not a wimp, in other words. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle, as in spinning yarn. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She's not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself, afghans, throws, etc. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Let me do that one again because I think sometimes we ladies need to remember this one. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. And I would even maybe add, not adding to the scripture, but maybe a modern version. When she posts on Facebook, she posts with kindness in her words. um, Anyway, she looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. Um, but what a goal to shoot for. I mean, what a wonderful example, to strive after. And I love the part, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, because it just reminds me of how the beauty industry, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice per se, but you know how the advertisement towards us is basically you're never enough. So you have to buy this. You're never going to be enough. So you have to have X, Y, and Z to make you look better or whatever, which is nonsensical if you ask me. So in the scripture, I just love the way this is: charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So I hope that encourages you all, because I know as we get older, um, um, things are, as far as the cultural, beauty definition isn't going to get any better. It's going to be a struggle, but how much better, to focus on what really matters. And can't say enough. So I hope that encourages you. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but I just want to wish you all the absolute best this week, and I hope to see you next week, Lord willing. God bless. Bye bye.